Hi, this is Greg McLaughlin from the Rebel Base Card Podcast, and you are listening to Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
In 1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All of it.
One of resistance,
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
rebellion,
Rebellion is built on hope.
and redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Star Wars Reactions. We are back for another fun-filled episode. We're going to have just a good old time as we venture into the 1980s for another edition of Vintage Reactions. So let's get the introductions out of the way and start having some fun. My name is Aaron Harrison. Joining me, he is the 3PO to my Wild R2. He is the David Modders. David, brother, what's up?
What's up, my brother? We're back in action, after covering a bunch of stuff that was released this fall, and I'm really glad we're doing this and finishing this up in 2025, and I'll share more about that in a minute once we say what we're covering here in our vintage reactions. But I'm ready to react.
Yes, sir. We are ready to react. It's going to be a fun discussion as we sit down, as I said, and venture back to that so distant Saturday morning in 1985 as we turn on the TV with our bowl of cereal and we hear Ewoks. That's right. Vintage reaction time. We are going to be discussing Ewoks, the animated series from 1985. And best part about this is we are covering what is the final episode of season one. I can't believe we finally made it to the end of season one, David. It feels like forever. Feels like forever.
I was looking, and I think the previous one we did was August of last year, so it's been over a year.
It's been a while since we've done a vintage.
Yeah, and we really needed to finish up this season one.
We do. So we are going to start closing out 2025 with the closing out season one of Ewoks. The episode we're discussing today is called Asha. This was released November 30th, 1985. Literally 40 years ago.
Yep.
I was 6. Actually, no. It was November 30th. So it was 10 days before my birthday. So I was 5 when this aired. Yeah. So written by Paul Dini, directed by Raymond Jaffalis, who apparently is directing most of these. Synopsis for this episode: Wicket watches as a mysterious defender of a mysterious defender of helpless animals thwarts Duloc hunters and discovers a secret about her origin. So good episode. Let's jump into our initial reactions. For those of you that are new to the series, it has been so long since we've done a vintage reaction. For those of you who are new and have not heard of vintage reaction before, I guess I should have covered this before we jumped into the episode intros. Basically what we're doing is we're going back to the 80s where they had the Ewok series, the Droid series. They had a couple Ewok TV movies. None of those I have seen. I have not seen a single episode of them. These are all fresh for me. So I'm watching these like for the first time. So, and we're just having a fun discussion about it. Uh, Going time traveling, taking a stroll down, memory lane, which, is fun. Reliving some of the '80s and the animation of the '80s, and just having a good old time. So we started off with Ewoks, the Ewok series, and been working through season one, and made it to the finale with Asha. And let in initial reactions, I'll go ahead and kick it off since I'm rambling without stopping. I really enjoyed this episode. To me, this was probably the funnest episode of the season. This It was great. It had a lot. It was a lot of fun. There was some action. There was some excitement. I felt like I was watching Tarzan at some points. It was it was really good, and it had some touching moments, and it had that story of hope that we're used to seeing in Star Wars in this episode. So I really, really enjoyed it. David, how about you, brother? What were your initial reactions?
Yeah, I felt like this finished strong. I like this. I like the whole idea behind the mystery here of who is the red ghost and stuff like that. Couple of comments. You'd mentioned 40 years ago, November 30th, 1985. We just passed November 30th, 2025. So I was like, man, it is good. We're 40 years later. I didn't watch these either. I was in high school. I'm playing basketball all the time. That's where I really was most of, in the gym, playing high school basketball, all that kind of stuff. Saturday mornings were refereeing games for younger kids. So
Mhm.
my Saturday mornings and then practices the rest of the time. So I'm with Aaron here going through this. And something I was going to mention, he mentioned November 30th. I was looking at this last night. I watched the episode and I'm like, wait, okay, this is the end of the first season. Where did this land with, listeners might have heard Aaron mention the two Ewok movies. And I looked at the premiere dates for both of those. Um, the Caravan of Courage was November 25th, 1984. And this first season of Ewoks was the fall of 85. And so this, now it's interesting. The second Ewoks movie is called Ewoks Battle for Endor. That premiered November 24th, 1985. So just a few days later, this episode premieres. So they're really kind of overlapping here with that second movie. And so I just kind of had to get that in my head when all this stuff was released. The other little comment I would make in terms of initial reactions, I really enjoyed this, is the title, Asha. If anybody's listened to Pod of Rebellion, Aaron's been listening to that. I really jumped in and got into it after Aaron and I got to talk and spend time and get pictures and get voice recordings from a lot of the Rebels voice actors back in September. Recently, they did Legends of the Lasat. They covered that a few episodes ago, and it's one of the first times I recorded with Aaron was that episode, and so that was pretty special. And in that, they call the Force Ashla, and you hear Vanessa Marshall, Tia Serkar, Taylor Gray, the host, John Lee Brody, but then also J.C. Reifenberg, who was doing a bang up job. In fact, I messaged him that via Facebook. I said, dude, you're killing it on the fact check. I love how he does that. And one of the things they talked about, and even Tia Serkar talked about it, was Ahsoka's name. Asha, Ahsoka, Ashla, all these kind of A words. But initially, Ahsoka was going to be Ashoka, which is an Indian god.
Mhm.
And so they recently, the Pot of Rebellion had Henry Gilroy on, and he said, I was really working on changing that because he knew that as well, that was the name of Indian god. So they flipped the A, let's see, Ashoka, the S and the H to make it Ahsoka, not Ashoka. And so it eventually stuck. But I've been thinking about a lot of this. When I saw Asha, I thought, boy, that's pretty close to Ashla, Ahsoka, Ashoka. So anyway, I would encourage people to go back or just, take a listen to Pot of Rebellion. It's so cool to hear them talk and do a rewatch here 10 years later. But I'll stop there and just say I really enjoyed this. We got more to cover, and this was actually pretty cool. I really liked this episode more than others.
Yeah, this was a great episode. We had a lot of fun things in it, and basically, long story short, with this episode, it starts off with Wicket and the guys are out in the forest just relaxing and having a good time, and all of a sudden, Dulocs show up and are imprisoning what appears to be a tauntaun.
Right,
It's a tauntaun.
right.
Mm,
But it's called a Maramoo.
it's okay. It's a tauntaun with an identity crisis. Um,
Come
it's
on,
a,
Aaron.
I mean, it's
Get
a
it
tauntaun.
right.
Yeah, okay. But the I can't believe it's not a tauntaun. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
And they are watching, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this mysterious red Ewok with a giant cape and a headband, looking like Batman, comes swooping in and beats the Dulocs and rescues the animal, and the Dulocs run away, and the boys retreat because they're scared because it's riding this mysterious red Ewok is riding this giant tiger-like creature, and they escape and run back and are telling all these stories in the village, and Nisa makes the connection to her long lost sister.
Mister.
So Nisa has a sister. So I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It fit perfectly. And Nisa's sister is Asha, who was supposedly lost when she was young. And this is where things kind of get a little bit of a dark turn for a Saturday morning cartoon. We have this flashback scene of Nisa as a baby with her mother and Asha out in the forest by the river when this giant creature attacks Asha, and the mother puts Nisa down in the bushes and goes to try to help Asha, and everybody dies. And that's like she's Nisa fades back to Nisa. She's like, yeah, my mom died, and we all we could find of Asha was her hood, and she's holding it. I'm like, this is a little dark for a kid's show on Saturday morning in the '80s. You know, what were your thoughts on their good old flashback there?
Well, it was interesting. I was trying to keep track of all these all the animals, and you and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of joke about the creature corner that I did for 2 seasons of
Resistance.
Star Wars Resistance, and this was like I was like, oh my gosh, I got to write these down. Usually when there's a show like this, I try to. The Maramoo was the Tauntaun. The Karina is that large tiger creature that you see Asha, Asha riding.
Mm-hmm.
The Hanadak is what attacked the family, I believe. I put
Gotcha.
that down. The Bordak is what they are riding in the snow when Nisa and Wicket go back to look for Asha. Coits are those little fox-like creatures that are trying to attack them. And then
Yeah,
it's hilarious to me at the very end. All of a sudden, she's releasing these animals. Asha is. And a little armadillo comes out. Nothing changed. Nothing. I don't know if you caught it. It was kind of funny. I don't know if they did it on purpose. They try to make everything look kind of different. And then I'm like, oh, there's just a little armadillo. If people go back and watch, you're like nothing's changed. But no, it's a little dark there. And they cut away and
hmm
so on and so forth. But I was trying to figure out what happened because Chief Chirpa survived, or no, he wasn't
he
there. He
wasn't
wasn't there.
there.
The mom was there. The mom was there
hmm
with the kid. Yeah, and so yeah. So here goes Asha. Uh, well, I guess I'm fast forwarding to her telling Nisa what happened and so on. But I don't know. I think they did it not like you and I pick up on. It's like some of the stuff you and I picked up on in Resistance.
hmm
Like genocide. But it's do kids understand that?
Yeah.
Like they did it in a way like, right, Hosnian Prime blowing up,
Yeah.
right? So they hid it a bit, but you and I didn't. You and I, it wasn't hidden from us. We knew what happened, but very Disney like before, right? The mother died, right?
Hmm.
Before they were owned by Disney. But no, I liked it. I liked the story. I wanted to figure out who it was. It seemed more like a story than some of the other episodes, that
Yeah.
had, some of the learning components. I liked that,
Yeah, it was really good with those components, and they
Hmm.
worked it into because we end up seeing Nisa and Wicket running away to find Asha
Hmm.
because she's got that sister bond. I know my sister's alive. I'm
That's
gonna
right.
find her.
That's right.
And they run away into the worst snowstorm of the year, and they're blowing away. And Chukatruck rescues them and finds them and rescues them in the storm as uh, the Coits
Yep.
were what come out and attack them and trying
Yeah.
to get them, and that's when Asha shows up, and we have the great reunion. One thing I do like what they did with Asha as a character is being that she had been lost and on her own for so long by herself. And we find out after this reunion what actually happened.
Mm.
Her mom pushed her into the river to swim to the other side to keep her from the creature from getting her, the Hanadak,
Hmm.
and she ends up not being able to swim, and the river sweeps her away. And the only reason her hoodie was left is because her mom pulled it off when
Yeah.
he shoved her in the water. So we have she gets lost, and the Karinas found her, rescued her, and kind of took her into their what do you
Family. Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the specific word for like a group of animals like that.
A pack.
Pack, yes. They
Yeah.
accepted her into the pack and raised her up. And of course, because she was alone for so long. And this is where I think they did such a great job because when you have somebody that's been in a situation where they're like away from the world and they not talking to anybody, they lose skills. They lose the ability to talk and communicate. And we see that with Asha as she meets up with Nisa for the first time. And they begin to start talking, and she's tripping and stumbling over her words and trying to remember and force the words out. It's really nice how they portrayed that. So honestly, I think they portrayed it perfectly.
I
What
like
were your
that too.
thoughts?
Yeah, no, her speaking the way she did. Again, this is why I like everything about this episode. I liked. I just felt it was just better, just better. And so I'm glad you pointed that out and how they had her. Yeah, she's like raised by wolves, right? And and
Hmm.
and shouldn't be able to speak as easily and fluidly as Wicked and Neeson. So I like that little touch. I like the character. I like how she looked, had the red fur. Um, I put in our show notes, she's literally an Ewok Jedi.
Hmm.
Like when you watch how they animate and what they have her do, and how she can swing things around and jump and swing on ropes and go all over the place. That's why I typed when I was doing the show notes. I'm like literally, I wrote literally an Ewok Jedi.
Hmm.
I mean, and so I like that too. I like that about her. I like how she's, um, helping animals that are being trapped by the Dulocs, and you and I've said it throughout covering season one. There's always some kind of good message. There is hope. This one is about, treating the animals properly. I think you hear not Tebow, Paploo say, we only hunt animals when there's not enough other food to eat, and
Hmm.
so it good little message of how to treat animals properly too. So,
Oh yeah,
um, yeah,
yeah.
um, yeah, I do. I really like Red Ghost, aka Asha, aka Nisa's sister, aka Chief Troopa's other daughter.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a a great character they brought in and introduced.
Yeah.
And of course, you called her Red Ghost, which is something we hadn't addressed yet. That was a nickname given to her by the Dulocs
Yep.
because they are constantly being plagued in their hunting season over there by this mysterious creature that destroys all their hunting traps and frees their animals and runs them off. And in this episode, they learn who the Red Ghost is as they attempt to capture her. Which okay, I'm sorry. That was to me the funniest part of the episode, where the Dulocs are down there. They got all these animals in crates. They got I can't believe it's not a tauntaun tied up,
Right.
and they're trying to get it to subdued so they can take it in and they're all up on the hill watching, trying to figure out a plan of attack. Wicket, Nisa,
Yes.
and Chuka Truck is up there, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, wait, where's Asha?" And all of a sudden they look down, and Asha's just walking right up into the mix of it,
Yeah.
walks right by the Dulocs, and they're all looking at her like, "What's this?" And she just walks up to the can't believe it's not a tauntaun, breaks the ropes, shoos it away, then walks over and starts ripping the front of the cages off. And the King
Oh,
Duloc, it was
yeah.
hilarious. Then the King Duloc walks up and goes, "Excuse me, uh, are you the red ghost who keeps destroying
Yeah.
our traps?" And she just looks over her shoulder, and goes, "Yep," as she rips the front of the cage off.
I think that's when the armadillo comes out,
Yeah,
you know?
that's it, exactly. That's where your armadillo shows up.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Get her!" And then, of course,
Oh,
all the action ensues with 5 Dulocs trying to uh,
Asha.
subdue Asha, and she is just like totally. It almost looks like she was annoyed.
Yes. You know, this is more reason why I called her literally an Ewok Jedi. I mean, she
Yeah.
just walks in like a boss and
Hmm.
just takes care of business. It's so cool.
Yes, there was so much Anakin in that move right there.
Hmm.
She just kind of walks in, walks right by, like, "Hey guys," and just like keeps going, does her thing. It was such an Anakin move right there.
Oh,
I flash back to the episode where Obi-Wan is pinned down on the bridge, and all of a sudden
yes.
he is like, "What you doing?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of it." And he just goes walking out, and there's blasters going everywhere.
Yeah.
He's him versus the whole separatist army.
Yeah.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
really good. That was, I know, yes.
You know
So
exactly
good. And
which one I'm talking about.
yeah, and Rex and Archer and Rex's whole crew, they're under the
Yeah.
bridge
The
waiting for the
501st
signal.
is under the bridge waiting for the signal to come up.
Right. Oh, so good. Yeah, and
Uh
that's Anakin coming in like a boss. Here's
yeah.
Asha coming in like a boss. And she's like, really, you're gonna try me. And I love it. And of course, the Dulocs and King Gornish, they're such good the baddies. They're just
Mhm.
typical Saturday morning baddies that are just incompetent, but it's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah,
Um,
and we see that in Compton. I think the best part was when they have her tied up with 3 ropes, and 3 Dulocs each have a rope, and all of a sudden she just like starts swinging them around like Superman, and is like
oh,
swinging them all around, throwing them across the forest. I mean,
so
it's
good.
classic Saturday morning action.
Oh yeah.
For and I thought that was perfect when it came to this episode.
Yeah.
Then
I
of
was
course,
trying to I was just trying to put something together, and this is where, like you and I hadn't watched the Ewoks season 1 or 2 of the animated series, but I've watched both made for TV movies, and I was trying to remember Chuka Truck. I think Kevin Thompson, he plays a couple different Ewoks. I'm trying to remember because I remember Chuka Truck first hearing the name in those movies. But then when I heard it here, I was like, "Ooh!" I perked up and I rewound it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, there it is." Here's a character from the Ewok movies, bam, in the animated series, which I really liked. That's why I went back and I'm like, "Wait, I got to look at the premiere dates for both those made for TV movies." But Yeah, I gotta go back and look at a few details. I Both those movies are kind of blurry in my mind right now. It's been a while since I watched them, but Chuka Truck is. I'm trying to remember if he's in the first one or second one or both. See, again, I just haven't watched them enough. But we'll check them out in time. It'll be more of our vintage reactions coverage.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen the Battle of Endor yet. I
Okay.
We did the coverage of
Yes, Caravan of Courage.
Caravan of Courage.
Yeah,
But that's the only that's
yeah.
and I watched that one. Kevin Thompson was in um I'm looking at IMDb right now.
Yeah.
Was in Battle for Endor, but according to IMDb, he's an uncredited Ewok.
Okay. Okay. Because at the end, if you remember, at the end of the Caravan of Courage, one of the Ewoks dies who does Eric Walker play? He plays the young boy,
Mhm.
Mace, Tawani, right? And I think I'm trying to remember if I think Kevin Thompson. I've heard him interviewed. I think he said he played that Ewok. He had to play it up, dying, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but then, so that would make sense then. Chuka Truck being in the second movie because this the Battle for Endor premieres 11
Yes.
24 85, and then a
Yes.
few days later, here's this episode with Chuka Truck
Chukatruck Kevin Thompson is listed as Chukatruck
in Battle
in
for.
no, in Caravan of Courage.
Okay, okay, so he must live to then be right.
Must be.
That's that because that's what I was wondering if it's Chuka Truck that dies at the end of the first movie. Because if that's the case, when again now we're getting the timeline stuff. How can you be in Battle for Endor?
Well, this is
And
Star Wars.
no
No
one
one
ever
is
does.
truly dies.
That's right. That's right. So,
What
again,
is it? No one is ever truly gone.
that's right. That's right. So I was just trying to play that around in my head, and again, I would have to. So okay, thank you for the assist there. So Chuka Truck is not in maybe Battle for Endor. Maybe not.
But he is in Caravan of Courage.
He is in Caravan of Courage. Okay. All right. All right.
So,
So maybe that,
good
and
catch.
then he's in this, and then Battle for Endor, even though the release dates were a little different.
Yeah.
So yeah. All
Good
right.
catch. Good catch.
Yeah.
Um, Good catch. Good catch. I like that. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. So, and I like how they incorporate that character and kind of bridge the gap between the movies. Instead of having
Yeah.
just the one constant being Wicked in there, you
Yeah.
have another character being pulled in to make it up. So,
That's another reason why I like this. Not only like you said, where how they had Asha not be able to speak, like she's been raised with
mhm,
wolves, and with Chuka Truck, I looked at the animation, and he has that similar kind of things going across his chest that we see in the Caravan of Courage.
mhm,
And so I think the animator saw that and brought it here into the Ewoks. I like that. Little touches like that. And you're right, not just it being Wicket being the through line. Here's Chuka Truck as well. Obviously Paplu and Tebow as well, and Chief Chirpa. But I really, again, it's one more thing to make this episode a little bit better than the others.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely, absolutely. Of course, of course, after the Ewoks, after the Duloks are defeated by Asha, literally by Asha, they are Duloks go away, and Asha decides to return home with Nisa. And they go back, and we have our traditional, holiday ending for an 80s
Hmm.
show
Hmm.
with the very happy ending with Chief Chirpa pacing around the cabin. Oh, where did she go? She didn't say where she went. Why would she do this? And all of a sudden, Nisa peeks in the door, and and he's like, "Oh, Nisa, why'd you do it? Where have you been?" And she's like, "Well, I had to go bring somebody home." And then she pulls Asha in, and he busts out in tears, and everybody hugs, and uh, uh, Chukatruck and Wicket are watching, and they're like, "Ah," and they're like, it's not wanting to admit they're crying, but it starts snowing. Like, oh, there's snow in my eye. Yeah, sure, it's snow.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Yes.
Not me, it's you.
Yeah, yeah.
But and of course it goes to that wide shot where they were walking away, and it's just snowing, and then we get the end credits there. So
Yeah.
very fun episode there with it, and I think they did really good. Anything you want to hit on before we go into like final reactions or anything?
No, I think we really hit it. Yeah, I'm ready for final reactions. To kind of put a bow on this.
All right, well, let's put a bow on it, sir. I will let you kick it off.
Yeah, well, I would say this because I was gonna, I was thinking about it when you asked me anything else to cover. I thought, well, let me just put it into final reactions, and it is that Christmas ending that, like you said, they pull back the wide shot and here's snow in Bright Tree Village, and I thought it's a perfect little ending. End of season one. It's the end of November, going into December. Nice little touch, for that to occur. But I guess just to recap, I really like the introduction of this character. I loved how she's a boss, like you said, a lot of Anakin vibes, doing the right things, beating the bad guys. I love my creature corner, a lot of creatures for me to cover, so that's a nice
Mhm.
little throwback for me. I like Chukatruck being in there, the tie-in to the Ewok movies, and uh, and yeah, I just really like this for, like I said, for multiple reasons. Plus, it seems like it's set right there, right about the time of the two Ewok movies, and so. But again, I really enjoyed the ending, and I'm glad that here it is, 40 years later. We're wrapping up season one. So fall of 1985, and now we're fall winter of 2025. How about you, buddy?
I really agree with everything you said. To me, this was a great ending for a season. I think it's a great way to have our final vintage reaction of 2025, which I believe is also our first reaction vintage of 2025. First shall be last, last shall be first. It's a great episode, a lot of fun, a lot of emotion, a lot of laughs. And I think it was a good family episode. It had that
Mhm.
um, seeing Nisa just confident that her sister was alive and having that hope that we're used to seeing in Star Wars, hope of something better, hope of something good, especially going into the holidays like we are. And as this episode aired, it was going into holidays there. Everybody is hopeful for the holidays, and we got a lot, and this just helped build up that hope and move it forward. So I thought it was a great episode. I'll have to add it to my holiday watch list every year now.
Nice.
So, and of course, we would love to hear what you think of this episode of Ewoks. You can, of course, hit us up and let us know on any of our social media. We are on, grab my cheat sheet here. We are on Facebook and X at SW Reactions Pod. We are on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, and Tumblr, all at SW Reactions. You can also email us at swreactions@gmail.com, as well as leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Star Wars Reactions. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Carebast. I was doing so good till right then.
We needed a Carabast.
We needed one. We needed one. We hadn't had one yet. So David, if somebody wants to talk Star Wars with you, brother, how'd they go about doing that?
Yeah, obviously Twitter X. It's at David_Motters. Instagram, just look up my name, David Motters. And then, as we've been mentioning here over the last, I don't know how many episodes, you can always send something into the show socials that Aaron just reeled off. There's a whole bunch, and Aaron's always forwarded those to me over the years, and keeps me up to date on those. So yeah, those are 3 ways. How about you?
Very good. Of course, you can always hit up the show socials and get a hold of me. Of course, I will be, you can always hit me up on my personal socials as well. Twitter X, as David likes to call it, and of course Instagram at TA Harris 121079. We would love to hear from you. So, David.
Nobody can see this right now, but Aaron's got the biggest smile on it. He just loves this. He's in his glory.
It's about that time of the show again.
Well, I just want everybody listening to know that we're recording this on 12/11/2025.
Yes.
His handle is 121079. Just happy birthday to Aaron. It was his birthday yesterday. He was in his glory yesterday. He's in his glory now doing you know what.
Star Wars dad joke of the week.
Oh, here we go.
I really got to work on some kind of intro music for that.
Probably.
I need to. Oh, yes, it is time for the Star Wars dad joke of the week. This week, I am pulling it straight from Kelly Knox's Star Wars dad joke book. This is a good one, David. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Did you hear about the 5-legged alien who got dressed up for Canto Bight?
I did not hear about the 5-legged alien that got dressed up for Canto Bight.
Yep, his pants fit like a glove.
Oh. Wow, Kelly. Wow. She's got some doozies in there.
His pants
She's
fit
got
like a
some
glove.
doozies. Yes. Don't. That's
Wah,
right.
wah, wah, wah.
Oh, jeez.
Ah, yes, he fit like a glove. All right, my friend. I believe that about does it.
That sounds good, brother. Great to record with you again.
Awesome time, my friend. Love recording with you. And of course, we love y'all. We thank you so much for joining us. We love y'all. We're praying for y'all. Hope y'all are having a wonderful holiday season wherever you are around the world. Be safe, have fun, enjoy some time with your family, and do something kind for somebody. It will make the holiday season so much brighter. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.